Good evening, Chris. I hope you are doing well. It is Friday, August 29th. Just checking in to say hello and praying for you and hope you're doing well and continue to be strong. I got a message for you. This is kind of a special message, and I'll explain it here. There's always a method to my madness, so just kind of bear with me. The other day I was riding my motorcycle. I was riding through Charlestown, and you might be familiar with this. At the Cross Mills Fire Station, there's a tribute, memorial, a piece of steel from the World Trade Center from September 11th. As we approach September, we're, I guess, about a week or so away from 9/11. What does this mean that I'm talking about? I'll explain this here in a minute. So just to kind of give you some background. So on September 11th, I was working with the fire department in my department in Metro Atlanta. And that morning, at that time, I was a paramedic field supervisor, and we had a report of an accident on Interstate 85. And Interstate 85 goes into downtown Atlanta, so it's just as you go into downtown Atlanta. And there were some construction workers that were doing some work on the shoulder to the highway, and they were at the back of their truck, and a car veered off and it struck three of them. So of course we transported them to the trauma center, and that happened this came in a little bit before 8 in the morning on September 11th. And as a supervisor, once we loaded up trauma patients, we headed to the trauma center, and I followed the ambulance crews up to the hospital. And normally when we bring in a trauma, like that, the trauma team is waiting, the surgeons are in the room waiting, and we pulled in, we went to the door of the ER, and as you walk in, there's the nurses station, main where you kind of check in, and they were all watching the TV. And we thought that was kind of weird, because normally they're in the trauma room waiting on us. As soon as we got there, they tended the patient, went in, and we were like, what are you watching? We looked at the TV, and at that time, the first plane had struck the tower, and we kind of looked at it and thought, wow, that's terrible. How did that happen? That was just crazy. So a few minutes went by. Obviously, history will show, and then we just kept on watching it. We got done with the patient, got turned over. And we were, done with the call, and we were still looking at the TV, because, just what was going on. And then that's when we saw the second plane hit the tower. And I remember we all kind of looked at each other like, okay, that's not right. That's weird. Now, we had no idea it was terrorism at the time or anything, but we just knew that was just not well. Not right. Something was up. So just, ironically after that, we all know what happened and what have you. And then after, obviously we went to the war against terror, the Iraq war and Afghanistan to fight terrorism. So within my department, at that time, we probably had maybe 850 firefighters in the department. And there were several, probably 50 or maybe a little less than 50 that were actually in the military. Some were at reserves and whatnot, and a number of them were deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. So we had these coins made, and to remember 9/11. This one right here, and I'll explain this coin to here in just a second, and this will hopefully all make sense. So we the command staff and the fire chief, we had those that were going deployed to the Middle East. We gave them these coins to take with them, kind of as a safe keep, to keep them safe, and to let them know that we were thinking of them and that we're with them when they're in harm's way. So there were several that went, probably a couple dozen. And this one here is mine that I have. And this coin here has gone on 4 deployments. And we made the deal with the military personnel that the coin had to go with them on deployment, and both the coin and the service member had to come back. Both had to come. That was the deal. The coin had to come back with the service member, and the service member couldn't come back without the coin. And we were very fortunate that as many of our firefighters that were deployed, everyone came home. We were so grateful. So this coin, and this is where I'm kind of headed with this. This coin is very special to me. It has been to Iraq twice, Afghanistan, and Kuwait. It's been on 4 deployments, and there's the things I cherish in my life, or my wife, my family, my close friends. But the material things that I cherish, this is probably one of the most cherished things that I have, other than my motorcycle, my Harley Davidson. You can understand that. But just what this means, this has been around the world in harm's way, and has kept our firefighters safe while they were fighting the war on terror. And you are fighting the war on cancer, and you're going to win this war. So what I would like to do is I would like for you to keep this coin while you're fighting cancer. Now, you can't have this, all right? You're just going to hold it. It's going to be your safe keep until you fight cancer, and you will. This is going to keep you safe, and you're going to beat it. You're going to kick its ass. I know you will. So we're going to try maybe this weekend. I'll give you this coin for you to hold on to while you're fighting this cancer. And just like this coin kept our service members safe, this coin is going to keep you safe. So you're going to need to put this in a very special place that you know where it's at. And then when you beat cancer, I'll get the coin back, because the coin eventually will probably go to somebody else that might need it for whatever reason. So I really want you to have this and to hold on to it. And I think it's going to keep you safe. It's going to help you fight this cancer. All right, buddy. You continue to be strong. We're all praying for you. You're going to get through this. There's no question. You are an inspiration to all of us. So you be strong, brother. Continue to be strong. Take care.